Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So my name is Destiny and I'm very happy to have you guys here once more. And in this video we're gonna go ahead and start working with the upvote and the downvote, or let's say the like function here in our Django project. So it's quite easy. All we need to do is just get over to our models.py where we have our class comments and we have our class question, and in our class question, that's where we want to append it. So just over here we're gonna have something that says, or let's just say likes, or let's say we want to have it before this one, let's say likes, and we're gonna set this to, because building this is going to be quite complex in a way. It's not really going to be hard, but it won't be like an easy stuff. But let's just go ahead and keep doing it. So this one we're going to set it to models.many to many field. So models.many to many field, and don't worry, I'm going to explain what this is doing. So models many to many field, we're going to pass in user over here, and we also need a related name, and this should be called likes, or let's say whatever. Let's say we want to call it question post. Let's just say question underscore post, or whatever you want to call it. So finally we need an on delete. Okay, let's just leave the on delete for now. It wouldn't really be necessary for now. So likes models.many to many field, we passed in user, and related name can be whatever. So with this now, what we want to do is easy. We could just define a total like thing that's going to help us count all the likes that we get. So just below here, I want to make another define. Let's call this total likes, total underscore likes, and it's going to take in self as usual. Then also we need to return self dot likes, which we defined dot count, just like this, and it's going to be a method. Okay, so that's pretty much what we need for now. Let's go to the next part, and the next part is going over to our views.py. So come over to your views.py, and at the top of the code, like at the top of our code over here, okay, let's just say just a discrete function. So we want to make a define like view. So define like underscore view, that's what we're going to call it. And usually it takes in requests, and let's also pass in pk so that we can keep track of the post we want to like. So after this now, the first thing we want to do is define a variable named post, and we're going to set this to get underscore object or 404. Let me make sure I'm importing it over here. Get underscore object or 404. So we want to define a variable post and set it to get underscore object or 404. Don't worry, just follow along for now. I'm still going to explain what we are doing if you're lost. And next we're going to pass in id should be equal to request dot post, just like this, dot get. And what we want to get, we want to get question id. So you remember the question id thing that we posted, that we added as the name in our models over here. Let's see over here. Okay, it's question underscore post instead it's question underscore post. Okay, for this one now we want to get question underscore id, like the particular ID of a question. That's what we are getting from here. Then the next thing we want to do is quite easy. So we can just go ahead and define, let's say we want to define a variable called like, and we're going to set this to false for now, because at the beginning of every instance the post doesn't want to get liked automatically by the user. And now we want to check if posts that we define at the top dot likes dot filter, just like that. So if post dot likes dot filter is equal to id dot request, let's get this request dot user dot id. Don't worry, just follow along. I'm still going to explain dot exists. So what do we want to do? Firstly, what we want to do is quite easy. We're going to remove the like. So we're going to say post dot likes dot remove. Then let's request dot user. Okay, then finally we are gonna okay, I think this should be indented, one over there, and this should be indented. Okay, just like that, it should work fine now. Then we want to change liked to false. Okay, that's what we want to do. Then else don't worry, I'm still gonna explain this, else posts dot likes dot add. Then we're gonna add it with request dot whoever user that's logged in. Then after this, we're gonna set liked to true. Okay, let me make sure I'm getting this, liked to true. Okay, then finally we need to return a HTTP response. Let's import it from Django.http. From Django.http, we want to import HTTP response redirect. I think, yeah, HTTP response redirect. This is it over here. Okay, so we need to return HTTP response redirect, and it's quite easy. You just need to come back over here, say return HTTP response redirect, and now where do we want to redirect to? We could just, redirect to the question detail, the same place where we liked it. So that means in here we need to pass in a reverse, and we're going to open up another parentheses, and in this reverse, that's where we're going to pass in stack base column question dash detail. Then we need to come over here and give a comma just like that, and we also need args should be equal to a square bracket. Then this square bracket is going to have a string. Then finally there is going to be a pk in there. Okay, so make sure you close in this. There's a couple brackets and square brackets over there that closes it. So let me explain what we just did over here. Firstly, we defined a function like view, passed in a request to request everything that we're going to be doing here, and again we passed in primary key to request the particular place that the like is going to go to and all that. Hopefully you understand. Then post over here, we set this, it's just a variable, you can name it whatever. So we set it to get underscore object of 404. Now what does get underscore object of 404 does? It's quite simple. It's gonna get whatever object that we have to pass in over here, or it's gonna return a 404 error that shows something like let's say whatever you're trying to get does not exist. Hopefully you understand. So it's either gonna get or it's gonna return an error. So get questions, the question model that we imported over here. So from the question, we want to get ID. We want to get like the question ID, and in order to call the question ID, it's a request.post.get. Then we get question underscore ID. So in our model over here, we did not add any field like ID equal to whatever. In Django, it automatically does it for us, so we don't need to specify a particular ID for any given model. So what we want to do is back to our views, we got the ID over here with this line of code. Then the next thing we did was define a variable and set like to false. So the first time a user landed on our website, the post or the question is not going to be liked, so it's going to be false. Now if the post.likes.filter ID is equal to request.user.id exists, okay, what does this do? So firstly, it's want to filter likes. So if a filtered like is requesting the ID of a particular user that's logged in, and if it exists, so that's what we want to check. If it exists, then we want to do something. So take note, this is ID equal to, not ID dot. So it's ID equal to request.user.id.exist. So we get the ID again and check if it exists. So if it exists, that means the user actually liked the post. What do we want to do? We want to go ahead and remove the like button, or hopefully you want to go ahead and remove it. Okay, let me tell you guys something. So what we're doing over here is to see if a like exists. If like.filter exists by a user, we went ahead and removed post.likes requesting a user. Then we set like to false, which means they didn't like it again. But else we are going to add a new like, and now like is going to be true. Then this is quite simple. We just want to redirect to wherever we did all this code. I don't know, I was just trying to look for the easiest word I'm used to explain all this, but hopefully you understand, the beginners here. Hopefully you understand, and if you don't, you can just drop a comment in the comment section below, and I'll try my possible best to tackle any issue that you are getting. So after this, the next thing we want to do is let's just come over to question detail, because that's where we're going to be working. So in question detail view over here, we haven't actually done anything here, so now we're going to start doing something. So we want to define get underscore context data, Okay, and we just got all this right off the box, and let me just get rid of this and that. Okay, but there's something we actually want to do. We want to pass in args and keyword args in here. So we're gonna say args. So we're gonna pass args and keyword args, and make sure that args has just one asterisk, just like that. Okay, so after we have done this, now the next thing we want to do is quite easy. So we are simply gonna define a context variable. So we're gonna define a context variable, and we're gonna set this to super, and this super is gonna have question in there, just like that. Sorry, the question detail view instead, question detail view. Then after that, we're gonna have self. So don't worry, I'm still gonna explain this. Then we want to get, so we want to get context data, just like that, and it's a method, so we leave it. We leave a parenthesis at the back. Then after this, let's just define any variable. Let's say let's just say something. Let's just say something. You know, I'm bad at defining variables and all that. So I want to say something should be equal to get underscore object or 404. Then we're gonna pass in question. We're gonna pass in question in there, and after passing in question, I want to pass in ID should be equal to self. Just follow along, self dot keyword args, self dot keyword args. Then in square brackets, there's gonna be pk, just like that. Then finally, now we need to get the total likes. So we're gonna say total underscore likes should be set to something dot total underscore likes, and there's gonna be you know, a parenthesis over here. So how do we get this total underscore likes? It's quite easy. It's what we defined over here. So that's what we are using now in our views.py. So after all this, what you want to do is quite simple. We're just gonna set liked to false, and after this, we just want to use a conditional statement and say if something dot likes dot filter, if something dot likes dot filter, and let's say if something dot likes dot filter has ID equal to self dot request, self dot request, just follow along, dot user dot ID. I know it's kind of long. Then finally we want to say dot exist. So if it exists, then what do we want to do? We just want to change liked to true. So we change like to true. And another thing before we go ahead and round this up, we're gonna have context. So now we want to get the total likes that, and you know, get the total likes and use it to do something in our templates. So we're gonna say context should be equal to total underscore likes, just like that. And total underscore likes is gonna be set to the total like variable that we defined up there. Then again, total likes. Yeah, then again we are gonna say context again. So let's define another context variable, and it's gonna have a square bracket at it, like that. Then we're gonna pass in liked, and liked should be set equal to liked. Okay, just like that. Let's make sure this is context. Yeah, so like is set equal to like, and finally let's just return context. Okay, so with this now we are pretty much done. All we need to do is just, you know, define a URL for it. So in our urls.py, let's say path should be set to I think, okay, let's just say like, then there's gonna be a slash, and we need to, you know, specifically get a particular question, and make sure there is no slash at the end of it, because okay, so after this we should pass in views.like view that we defined in our views.py. Then finally we're gonna have name should be equal to like underscore post, just like this. So like underscore post. Now back to our question detail. Let's just put it down here. We are almost done with what we are doing. We're almost done. So what we want to do now is quite easy. Let me see. Okay, so what you want to do is just come over here and let's see. Okay, below the answers, let me get back here. Below the answers, okay, we have an error. Let's see. Invalid syntax. Okay, where are we getting this from? Let's get back to our views.py. So we have this, then we need to pass this in over there just like that. And now let's see if it's actually gonna work, and it's working. So we need to just refresh this over here. Okay, and we're getting no such table. This now let's try migrating. So firstly, we need to make migrations. You know, I told you guys we added something in our models, so we need to make migrations. Then finally we need to migrate, and it's done. So let's run our server again. Okay, running now. Now let's refresh this. Okay, just below here we want to add the like and dislike, or should we just add it at the top of this place? Okay, let's add it over here just above the answers. So back to our question detail, above answers, just above answers, here I'm gonna add it in between there. So what you want to do is kind of easy. We're just gonna add a form, and this form is gonna have a URL. So URL would be set to stack base column like underscore post, just like that. And also we just need an object.id, or let's use object.pk rather. So object.pk, that should work fine. And also we need a method equal to post, and finally we need Django CSRF token. So CSRF underscore token. Okay, and after this now, what we just want to check is if a user user dot is underscore authenticated, what do we want to do? So if a user is underscore authenticated, and also if liked, so if a post is liked, what do we want to do? We want to add the dislike button. But before that, let's go ahead and if also we need else in here too. We need else because we also want to do something if it's not liked. Then also over here we need else, and finally we need to and if. Okay, so let's start implementing the functions now. Okay, so if a post is liked, we want to add a dislike button, and I already have the dislike button somewhere here. I think this is it. I think this should be it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna grab this div, and I'm gonna put it in here just like that. Okay, and if a post is not liked, we want to add the like button. So I'm gonna get the like button. This is the div, so I'm gonna grab it and simply put it in here, and I'm gonna indent this. Okay, so after the indentation, if a user is not authenticated, what do we want to do? So it's quite easy. We are just gonna tell them, let's see, this is if liked. So if a user is not authenticated, we're gonna tell them log in to like. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So over here we're gonna have that, and see it says go to the login page, and over here it says login to like question. Then to count how many questions, how many likes we have, you see it's total underscore likes. And also we can set this over here just at the front of this button, you see, so it counts the total likes here and also count the total likes here. Okay, now I think we are done. Let's just go ahead and run this, and hopefully we get an error, so we try to fix it. Okay, we come over here now and we run this. You see we get 0 likes. Let's see, our button isn't actually showing up. Let me just keep refreshing this. Okay, as you can see, it's showing up now. So if we like this, Okay, it says no question matches the given query. Let's see, we like this. No question matches the given query. Let me refresh this. Okay, so we need to go back and fix this. So it says no question matches the given query. And what is this error all about? The first thing I think would be the issue should be from here, this question ID. So this is supposed to get whatever that we passed in as the like button ID, sorry, name. So we need to make sure that it's actually the same thing. Now over here is question ID, and in our question detail, let's try locating the like button and let's see what we have. Okay, this is the like button, this is the value questions.id, and let's see, this is the name. Okay, as you can see, the name is questions underscore ID, and over here it's question underscore ID. So I think that should be one of the error that we are getting. So let's make sure it's question underscore ID, and over here too it's question underscore ID, just like that. And okay, let's see if there is any other thing that we are supposed to do other than that. Let's see. Okay, over here we also have object.pk. So let's refresh this now and let's try doing it again. So when we're like now, we get field ID expected a number but got a string. Okay, let's see what that's supposed to be. Question underscore ID. Okay, so we have question. Let me get rid of this question dot ID, and also for this question dot ID. So let's get back here, refresh this, like. Okay, and as you can see, it's working now. So when we like, it counts up to 1 like, and when we dislike, it counts up to 0 likes. So you see, 1 like, dislike, 0 like, and as you can see, it's working perfectly fine. You could go ahead and add more implementation to this. For example, you see it's showing 0 likes now instead of 0 like, so you can go ahead and try fixing this on your own so it will show 0 like. Then when you like it more than once, or when it has more than 1 like, so it can show 2 likes, and when it's just 1 like, it should show 1 like. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So just go ahead and work on this and make sure it's actually fine. So we like this post now. Let's log out and log in as another user. Let's log in this time around as Karen, and we sign in. Okay, Karen has no profile yet. Let's say Karen Tutu, and we are logging in as that. Okay, this is Karen. We come over to latest question, and over here we have 1 like. So Karen took and add her own like, and as you can see now it's 2 likes. And let's even log out again and log in as Tom11, Tom1111, and we sign in. Okay, we come to the latest question, and this is the first one. You can see 2 likes. We can like again, 3 likes. So as you can see, a whole lot of users can actually like over here. So let's log out and try going to the page again and see what happens when we are not logged in. So over here now, we come over here. What do you notice? It says login to like question, but it has 3 likes. So we are not allowed to like except we log in. Now if we hit this, it brings us to the login page. Now we can log in, and as you can see now, it allows us to like or dislike. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully it wasn't really too confusing for you guys to understand, and maybe you learned something new. And if you did, do not forget to drop a like on this video, consider subscribing, and also drop a comment. All this really means a lot to me, and it helps grow my small channel. And I hope I'll see you guys in the next video, where we are going to talk about how to add a rich text field here in Django. So mad love, peace out.